All right, we're going to show you how to make your own voice or customize a voice that's already there. That's the piano sound. Let's find one to change up. Okay, we have full concert grand right there. Here's one, same exact one, full concert grand. What I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to completely just override it, then initialize it. I'm not going to overwrite it yet. How we initialize it, we go job, all parameters. There's all the elements and settings. Bam! You guys are probably freaking out like, whoa, would a change a setting in there? Is that gonna permanently alter it? Will I be able to get it back? We can back up your keyboard. Also, I think there's expansion memory areas. I'm not familiar with that so much because I don't have one. Right now, I have not deleted it permanently in the keyboard. You see the E in the corner, it's edited. I have not stored the change. See, it's back to the full concert grand. And then I'll initialize it. So it permanently changes it when you hit store. So here we go, shotgun overview. Let's do this. What is a voice? All right, a voice is pretty much a preset. A preset is something that's already in the keyboard. That's preset, so I guess it's more like post set. We're gonna make it a post set. I don't know if that's the term, but it is now. Yeah, it's a set of elements together, and you're pretty much just a sound on the piano, workstation synthesizer deal. Okay, 1 element, 2 element, all the way up to 8. What's an element there? Multiple elements make up a voice, and so the multiple elements are going to make out this final project. So what we're going to hear is there you go. How I'm going to change this is, let's go to edit. Common edit's going to be up, and then we're going to go to 1. You're going to see something like that. Okay, element switch is on. This is important. You see all these different elements, you have up to 8. Notice how there's no red on them. Red means there's one active right there. Even if you have settings under these other ones and it's not on, it's not going to play, or the slider's down, you're not going to hear it. Or if there's some other setting that's changed, it won't sound. There's other ways to make it not play. Edit. Okay, number 1 right here. We have 1. We could select these different elements down here. The light will be on if they're enabled, and so on. So 2, we can turn it on. Let me pan this over. Okay, number 2, element switch, that's how we turn it on. Quick overview, XA control. We have normal, functions normally. Legato. This is pretty much for smooth transitions. Key off sound, when you let go of the keys, it's going to be, this is where it's for that sound only, I believe. Wave cycle, from what I read in the manual, is that this is going to go from element 1 to, and it's going to cycle through it, each different note you play. And wave random, this is going to cycle through it randomly. All AF off. AF is assignable function. Where do I see that? What is that? Never heard of it. Do these buttons ring a bell? So that's for assignable function. If they're both off, this will play, and you can change it to, if you have the single one on, it will play only if that one's on, or number 2. You can't do both. I mean, you can have 2 different assignable functions on at the same time, but there's no preset that says, hey, 1 only and 2 only, or if 1 and 2 are on. So it's either 1 or 2, or off. Okay, we're going to do a quick, on the assignable functions, quick delay. You got your setting right now. Let's make it so, that's not what I want. Let's go to 1. Okay, so I have element 1. I'm changing it to assignable function 1 for demonstration. See how I'm pressing the button, nothing's happening. Let's hold this down. Okay. Now let go. It's not playing. What you're noticing is my finger has to be on that button for it to have the light on. And that's good. Annoying if you want to play piano with two hands. So we're going to fix it, show you how to do that. Okay, what we're going to do is here's this app. We're going to go to Common Edit. And then from there, general name, slide over to Other. Right now, from Momentary, we're going to put to Latch. So we have, boom, it stays red. Boom, it's off. So you can go into some of your other favorite voice sounds, other settings in the keyboard, and maybe that was the only thing you didn't like about it is how you had to hold it down. You can now change it. You know how to do that. Okay. So let's make a simple synth sound just for the tutorial. We'll talk through a couple settings, what they do. I'm not going to exhaustively go through everything. I do not have the knowledge for that. Okay, so let's set this on to normal. This wave number is the sound that's going to go into the element, and then the element, different things, we can edit it. And then a bunch of elements together is the voice. This is the voice. I hope that's not like some kind of copyrighted phrase or something. I don't know. People do weird stuff. So there's the sine wave. Turn this down. Okay, I got that up. Let's talk about some of this again. Okay, quick overview. Velocity limit. 1 to 127, that's how hard or how soft you have to hit it to play. 1 is the softest, 127 is the hardest on this keyboard. So you can make it so if you play it really light, it's not going to sound. Maybe you want a different sound. You can also, this is good for piano or something on some of these. Or if you're coming in and you see how it says soft, medium, and hard. These are more designed for a lower velocity when you're hitting it down. So that's where it would be a lot better for that. Yeah, so there you go. Pitch. What's pitch going to do? Depending, what's your ear here? Like 20 to 20,000, something like that. And how it works is, I think 440 was the tuning A note. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it was this one. And every time you do an octave, you're going to divide that by 2 or times it by 2. So 1 octave lower is going to be 220, 110. That's wrong. I think I messed this up. Maybe it was this C up here. 440, 220, 110, 55, and then 55, 25. Anyways, your ear hears all the way down to 20 to 20,000. So that wavelength, if you're changing it up, it's going to change how high or low it sounds on the keyboard. That's your pitch. Filter is cutoff. So it kind of makes it dull or not. Here, the best way to do this is we'll just have a playing example. And I'm changing the cutoff. It kind of makes it dull or vibrant. So that might be good if you're playing like a ballad or something slower. You want a more dull sound. I don't know. Or if it makes, or if you want to sound like you're in a different room, maybe. I don't know. Something's hindering the sound filter. Whoops, I just changed. Hit the wrong button. Quick, let's do this again. Proof that it didn't permanently change unless you store it. Okay, our sine wave's up. Insert effect A. How this is going to work is let's hit exit. Which we're seeing as effect right there. Okay, effect. So this element 1 all the way up to 8. It's gonna launch it in straight to A. I can bypass it, I think, through. There you go. So it's gonna send this element. First thing you're doing is you go in here, and then you can follow it. You can change the setup. But right now we got the lines looking like this. So I'll go A, and they'll shoot it down here. This will launch it in through, and the arrow right there is if you threw it, bypass. And then it'll launch in here, and you can arrange how it's going to work. This might be good is if you want distortion on the first one, and you don't want all your elements to be running distortion, you can send it to B, and B will then not have distortion. But maybe some kind of bounce effect, delay. So there's that. Let's play with a couple of these other effects. Turn that up. Okay, there's that. Okay, edit, common 1. Pitch, like I said, you have the frequency, how high the frequency is. Your ears are going to hear it as a higher note, how low is a lower note, within 20 to 20,000. A filter, that's kind of like how the cutoff is. It's going to dull the sound. Let's talk about some of these acronyms. Letters that stand for like ASAP, as soon as possible. That's an acronym. ASAP stands for as soon as possible. So you have letters that are standing for full words, I guess. I'm not a dictionary. LPF, so that is low pass filter. Then HPS, high pass filter. So this sound, it's cutting off this part. Here it's going to be cutting off here. Straight line should be normal. What is B? Bandpass filter. So it's kind of a combination of the two. Band element filter. It's the opposite. It's now we got a void in the center. Dual. Okay, so how these are going to work too is when I read, is it's kind of chopping it's cutting off here. Well, if you use this resonance, you have this light on, you can change the settings for where the slider is going to work. The first one, change it with this. The first one, second knob, resonance. When you move that, it's going to affect somewhere in here. So I'm reading the manual, so this is in theory, right? And then there, you can slide it up, and it should move in there. This is going to move in the center. This one, it's going to change in the center and the resonance knob. These dual ones, I believe somewhere, I don't know where the two sections are, but it should move two of them at the same time. And how that works exactly, I'm not really experienced, but that is what it said. Okay, FEG, what's it stand for? Filter, filter, envelope generator. There you go. Envelope. That's what the note does. You got a sound packet envelope or something. You have hold, attack, the decay 1 to release. Essentially what's happening when you're hitting the note. This is how it evolves. And you can change it. That's what it looks like. What it looks like right there. I don't want to change it so much on the pitch of the filter. We can do it on the amplitude. Okay, so initial level. So let's hit some of the notes. along. There you go. Element. What is a LFO? Element LFO. So this one's specific to the element. So there's an LFO. It's in the common edit. So edit common LFO. This will everything together. Element LFO more specific to that. P mod is pitch mod. Talked about pitch. F mod is filter mod. Talked about filter. A mod is amplitude. That's the strength. The volume. Speed is how often, like if you're condensing it or stretching it out. How I think of an LFO is see this image right there. Imagine the time running and imagine a slider. So when it goes down, the slider goes this way, and when it goes up, bam. So essentially as time goes by, you're changing it. And when you're changing it, this setting is going to affect the pitch, filter, amplitude, depending on your settings. Key on reset is when it's resetting this when you hit the key. If you want to get into dubstep, you have to. They use LFO, and they're playing with the settings on that. I tried to make a dubstep tutorial, but it was hard for me to get that out. There's your basics on how this works. Maybe one last thing. Let's go to the common edit and click browse through it. So there's your arpeggiator. Remember we talked about this in a previous tutorial. Let's set up something out of my favorites. Let's try this one. Turn it on. That's more fun. Let's go back to the sequence here. You can even change the... Okay, this is off of our tutorial, so... One last one. Turn that off. Cool. There's that play mode, poly, polyphony, and mono polyphony. I think of it as like a saxophone, flute, or clarinet, versus some other instrument that could play multiple notes at once, like a guitar or piano. So mono, versus stereo kind of thing. Mono one at a time, only playing one note, versus poly is you're gonna have many notes. So poly, you'll be able to play more than one. Mono, one at a time. Maybe you want that for synth lead. And when that's enabled, then you can go through here, settings, edit, you can add another element. And then you can play with this legato. Because this should be set up for monophonic, and transitions for playing more smooth, long saw. It's kind of a little drastic changing, but versus that, I'll turn the element off. And let's go last browse through the common edit. There's your ARP, other ARP settings, control. Ooh, we could talk about those. Let's play with this real quick. So you have different sources. Let's go list. You can put in a foot switch. Let's talk about the ones. Pitch bend. This is your pitch bend. This is your mod wheel. This is your ribbon. Assignable function 1 and 2. And this is another assignable right there, 1 and 2. Let's check out the... Let's check it out. List. Okay, so we talked about mod wheel. Aftertouch, I think, was, depending on pushing the notes, I don't know. Foot controller on the back, you can plug in like a foot pedal. There's a sustain that's different, but foot controller. I wanted to get one of those, you know, like a guitar style one for reverb or something. And in theory, you should be able to plug that in the back of this. And depending on the input, like if it's on set low or high, instead of just a switch on or off, how much you push it in, you can run it in here, and you can change something like a rotary speed on an amp you have set up for an organ, so you have that rotary. I don't know what to call it. Anyways, you can change how fast that thing's spinning, depending on your foot pedal, digitally. So there's that ribbon, the little slider one with my finger that was underneath the pitch bend and mod wheel. Breath. Ooh, I have no idea. Sine 1, Sine 2 is this. The first light has to be on, and you can select that. You can change the knobs. Foot control 2, second foot controller, I imagine. Assign 1 and 2, that is the on and off red switch button right there. We showed you how to click it so it, once you let go, it's on, or if you hold it. Destination, so you have the function, what knobs we're going to use. Let's go to ribbon real quick, and so close out the tutorial. Ribbon, destination. Okay, so insert A. You have these different things that should go to the effects. Effect A, the one that's in A, and you have these different parameters and things. I haven't played with this so much, but that should go into there. And I've seen this on other voices, and you can play with them and see how maybe when you change it, changes the reverb, not on the reverb slide, but something, or effect of delay or distortion, and go look how they have it routed. And you can see that, and then reverse engineer, you know. So those are the settings there that goes in. And what I'm going to do is I was tuning. I want the cutoff. Depth. Now this is right now it has no depth. If I want to move the knob, it's not going to do anything. Think of this as like a times button. Right now it's, you know, essentially times 0. It's not going to do anything. It's going to still be 0. You can see how it's sliding over. There's a graph of how it works, and this is the elements it's going to affect. Right now I got it on 22. Let's play the thing and show you the slide. Let's hit a note. I want to turn up this depth. I gotta change the strength on it. I had to change the settings. Okay, other ribbon reset to hold. The difference is reset is when I lift up my finger. If I hold it down here and I lift up my finger, it's going to essentially, boom, set it right back as if my finger was in the center. If I have it on hold, wherever I lift my finger off is where it's going to stay. I'm going to make the depth, oh, it's as strong as it can go. This seems pretty cheesy. Well, sorry for that. But this tutorial has gone about 25 minutes. So I hope this little basic thing can get your creativity stirring, and now you got some basic ideas. You can leave comments, whatever. Maybe we could do a more advanced one when I learn a little more too. So hope you like.